Oh, hey, it's good to see you again. Thank you for watching the first episode of See It Again Cinema. Now, if you're like me, you don't just love watching movies, you love rewatching movies. There are all kinds of reasons people like to watch a film they've already seen. Sometimes it's just to enjoy it all over again, like a kid at an amusement park who just wants to go on that ride a second or third or fourth time. Sometimes it's to catch the little details we missed the first time. Sometimes we like to rewatch a film with someone who's never seen it before so we can see their reactions in real time and then discuss it afterwards. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest where I didn't like going outside that much, and it was also the golden age of the video rental store. As you can see, still have my Blockbuster rental card. It's still in good standing. No late fees. So movies were a way that I got to kind of escape what I thought was a pretty humdrum, but actually pretty great childhood. So um, this film is an opportunity to document what it's like to rewatch old movies and then talk about it, because I think we've all had that moment where we've rewatched a film and thought, hmm, this is not as good as I remember it. Or there are things where we get something that went over our heads the first time and we're like, oh, that's what that meant. And then there are also films where we just like, oh my God, this movie is just as good as I remember it the first time. So if you're watching this, I hope you watch each episode's featured film and share your memories and your reactions to rewatching it in the comments below. My only rule for selecting a film right now is that it has to be over 20 years since I've seen it. Sometimes it'll just be me, and sometimes I'll have a guest on, and then we'll get to have a discussion afterwards. For my debut episode, I'm going way past 20 years, though, 36 years in the past, in 1986. I was 5 years old, and this was the first film I ever saw in a movie theater. It was Disney's The Great Mouse Detective. Ooh. Now, what I do remember about the film is not much. I do know I liked it, and I think it's where my lifelong love of sleuthing, and whether it's mysteries in general or Sherlock Holmes or later on film noir, kind of all started here. And I think there's a climactic battle scene atop Big Ben during a thunderstorm, so it's kind of really gothic. I think a lot of superhero and Disney films kind of ended in this way. So, without further ado, it's time to begin and see The Great Mouse Detective again. Oh, and if you'd like to pause this video right now and rewatch the film, we'll catch you after the credits roll. All right. See it again, see it again. Cinema, 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 see it again, see it again. And then talk about it. Hey, welcome back. Hey, that was a lot of fun. How does it hold up all these years later? Well, I think it does a pretty good job at introducing audiences to 1897 London, particularly if the youngsters aren't familiar with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's greatest creation, Sherlock Holmes. I didn't realize that this film was based on a series of children's books called Basil of Baker Street. I wonder, were they planning to make more if it was successful, or were they just happy with the one-off Basil and Dorson begin? I have a real affinity for stories about small creatures living in a big person world. Stories like Stuart Little, Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, Toy Story. So I thought this film had a nice clever sequences of, how the little ones live. So many sequences did come back to me. There were some that just I don't remember at all, such as the singer in the bar sequence right before the big bar fight. I get the impression it was supposed to have kind of a racy, Jessica Rabbit dance number kind of feel, but that didn't do anything for me when I was 5. I will say, Fidget, the peg-legged henchbat, is the right mix of humorous and terrifying, for little kids. Provide a lot of good comedic relief, and also really starts the film off with the right sinister note. Most of my memories of him, I think, were superimposed, though, by the Mogwai in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. There are a lot of similarities between how they look and sound. So now that I'm not 5 years old, there were some big names involved in the production that I recognize now. So I'm going to go over those. Henry Mancini did the score, didn't write the songs, but did a perfectly decent, animated film score. Nothing really seems as iconic or, stands out as much as, say, Moon River or The Pink Panther or Peter Gunn, but it worked. Basil Rathbone makes a cameo as Sherlock Holmes, although they have to do it in shadow and not actually let it know that it is Sherlock Holmes, because at the time they made this film, Sherlock Holmes wasn't in the public domain. Many people consider Basil Rathbone to be the greatest actor to play Sherlock Holmes in a cinematic adaptation. So I don't have any opinions one way or the other because I haven't seen any of them. Okay. And the late, great Vincent Price voiced Professor Ratigan, who is a pretty larger-than-life villain, although watching it now, I realize how the way that they created the character kind of fits in that pattern that many people consider problematic, where a Disney villain comes across as creepy and villainous because of some off-putting, gender-blurring mannerisms or gestures. So take that for what it's worth. Let's get to the main parts of the film. The plot was fine. I thought that the story of Olivia trying to get her dad freed from this beast-like Ratigan had shades of Belle and the Beast. The songs, there were only 3 of them. The tunes and melodies don't really stick, but they were perfectly fine while I was watching them. The animation is a little rough in some spots. I get the impression they were trying to cut some corners and save money in some spots so they could, really do well elsewhere. This was before the Disney Renaissance, when they really upped their game. And, when you go from The Little Mermaid to Beauty and the Beast to Aladdin to The Lion King, wow, that's quite a great sequence. I don't think we saw that kind of quality until the age of Pixar. So that clock tower climax scene really does hold up quite well, and I believe one of the reasons it made an impression on me back then is it was the first Disney film to use CGI to animate the gears. So it's a pretty dizzying, impressive sequence, and I can see why they saved it for the end of the film. So at 74 minutes long, it's not too long of a film, and I'm glad I rewatched it. So if you have memories of the film or recently rewatched it, please share your memories and reactions in the comments below. Well, all right, that'll do it for this first episode. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to see more episodes. We'll see you next time on See It Again Cinema, where old movies make new magical memories. Bye. See it again, see it again. Cinema, see it again, see it again.